Hey everyone, this is Robin with the Meet Cute Society podcast. And today we are going to talk about the 13 stages of heartbreak and how to get through each and every one of them. By now, you've likely come across numerous suggestions for navigating the aftermath of a breakup. In fact, I just recorded a podcast about navigating through the first week. And these tips can range from eating chocolate ice cream to listening to sad music on repeat. But despite having a fantastic support system and the perfect heartbreak playlist, going through a breakup is undeniably an emotional journey. The conclusion of a relationship, whether it was platonic or romantic, involves a form of grief that is challenging to overcome. Breakups are difficult. In general, it's the change, it's a transition, it's a loss of something that once was. And in many cases, it was stable and consistent. We inherently crave connection with one another, making it challenging to let go of a bond that has been developed. Even if the breakup was mutual or amicable, it can still trigger feelings of shame, guilt, fear about the future, and fear about your future relationships. Breakups are challenging. However, understanding the stages of breakups can provide you valuable insights. It's important to note that the stages of a breakup are not always going to be linear. You're not going to go from step 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. You might go from 1 to 13 to 5 to 7. It's important that you understand that it might differ for you, and it could differ from your friend or your sister or your brother or anybody down the street. And you might isolate yourself in between stages. Ultimately, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to process a split. Nevertheless, gaining insight into stages may offer mental preparation, reduce the sense of isolation, and contribute to moving forward. So let's go through them, shall we? Number 1, uncertainty. Before the actual breakup occurs, individuals often experience ambivalence. Positive and negative phases in their relationship create uncertainty about the definitive status of the connection. Usually towards the end of the relationship, you're starting to wonder if this relationship is moving forward. You're starting to wonder if you're going to be broken up with or if you're the one going to be doing the breakup. I did record a podcast about 5 signs to look out for if you think your relationship is going to end. So I recommend that you go back and you listen to that one. Number 2, this one. And if you've been listening to our podcast for the last couple of weeks, I know we're new, but I did speak about this one. Euphoric recall. Post-breakup, there's a tendency to romanticize the ex-partner and focus only on the positive aspects of your former relationship. This phase is known as euphoric recall, and it may induce feelings of guilt or regret. So you've broken up and suddenly everything about your ex is all sunshine and daisies. Weren't they perfect? Here you are focusing on the good aspects of your relationship. Here, as you focus on the good aspects of your relationship, you may gloss over the issues that led to its demise. Sometimes this stage can even create feelings of guilt or regret. And this is oftentimes why people go back. So the one way that I got over my euphoric recall when I left my toxic relationship a few years ago, I demanded myself that I was not going to go back. It did not matter how difficult it was for me. And I will record a podcast about this relationship. I have spoken about it in the past, but it was very toxic. It was very abusive. I was abused emotional, physically, financially. And when I left that relationship, I was homeless. I was jobless because I worked for him. I had no money because he stole it from me. And I felt defeated. But I knew that if I went back I may not live to see another day. So what I did was every time I started romanticizing that relationship, as toxic as it was, I still was getting the messages from him. Oh, baby, come back. Everything's going to change. I love you so much, blah, blah, blah. And he would say, oh, just come back and I'll give you some money. And oh, just come back and I'll make sure you're taken care of. I was staying with my girlfriend at the time, and she had a whiteboard in her office. And I looked at her one day and I said, do you mind if I erase what's on your whiteboard? And she said, no, of course not. So I did. And every time I started thinking about going back, I forced myself to go into my memory bank of the things that he did. The month before, I found out that he cheated on me 14 times in our 5 years of being together. So some of them I knew, some of them I didn't know. But the ones that I knew, I forced myself to write down her name. I forced myself to write vacations that were ruined, plans that were broken, things that he promised that he never came through, Christmases that he ruined. I forced myself to recall those bad memories and write them on the board. And I wrote so many that I wrote them vertical. Then I started writing them horizontal and diagonal. And one day I woke up and I just took the dry eraser and I erased the board and I said, I don't need this anymore. So if you are struggling and you have been in a relationship that you're together and then you break up and then you're together and then you break up, chances are you need to move on from that relationship. Whether it being toxic or not, you're not moving forward if you're constantly breaking up. So something is wrong. So I recommend the whiteboard. I called it the why not board. Why I could not go back. And it has been something that I have been coaching for years ever since that. And it has helped tons of my students go through it and to move on from their life. So 2, euphoric recall. Super important. 3, analyzing and reflecting. The brain works overtime as individuals try to make sense of a breakup. Analyze the reasons behind the termination of the relationship and obsessive scrutiny of the fine details occurring during this stage. Okay, so what I recommend during this stage is get out a journal. Start writing things down. The brain works overtime. You're going to try to make sense of it. Oh, I don't understand. Why didn't he choose me? I don't understand. Why did she break up with me? I don't understand. Why did they go from one day to the next? Every breakup is different. Every relationship is different. And as a relationship coach, I've heard so many things. And I do have a couple previous podcasts I recommend that you go listen to regarding rejection and breakup. So I just want to say during this stage that you're going to have to write the fine details down. The itty bitty things that you guys would fight about. I want you to just write it down. The things that didn't make sense. What you did right. What you did wrong. How you can improve. And then when you're done with this phase, close that journal. Throw it in the garbage and be done with it. 4, emotional numbness. Some individuals may experience a phase of an emotional numbness marked by detachment from reality and denial about the current situation. Numbness can last for hours or weeks. What does this look like? I don't freaking care. I hate that person. This doesn't affect me. I'll find somebody better. I don't care about this person. I don't care about anything. 5, denial. The denial stage involves a reluctance to acknowledge the end of the relationship. Oh, maybe he'll call me back. Oh, maybe she'll want me back. Oh, she's going to go out there and then she's going to date other guys and nobody is as good as me. I'm just going to sit here and be single and be available. When she understands that and acknowledges that, I will be here and available. That acts as a defense mechanism to numb the intensity of the situation. Don't do that. Never sit on the back burner waiting for somebody to decide that they want to be with you. Remember, rejection doesn't have anything to do with your self-worth. It has nothing to do with you. 9 times out of 10, this is just something that's wrong timing. It's something that has nothing to do with you, something that they're going through. And at the end of the day, if they didn't choose you, you still need to choose you. Don't sit around waiting for them to decide if you're good enough. I want you to get out of this stage of denial very quickly. And I want you to move on, even if that leads you to the next phase, which is anger. Acknowledging the reality of a breakup, individuals may feel resentful, frustrated, or angry. This stage may involve anger towards the ex-partner, the breakup itself, or even oneself. I've seen this happen. I've seen people come through our coaching program where they were broken up with because of something they did. Whether it was they cheated, they lied, they broke boundaries, they broke trust, and now they're super angry with themselves. While it's important to acknowledge the things that you did wrong in that relationship, staying in this phase is not going to do anybody any good. So anger is a healthy emotion. And however you need to get that anger out, whether it's throwing plates at one of those throwing plate stores, going axe throwing, going punching, boxing, not punching, whatever that looks like for you to get those emotions out is super important. But be sure to get them out. Don't hold them all in. And number 7, bargaining. The bargaining stage entails imagining alternative scenarios and contemplating ways to handle the situation different. Oh, if I only would have done this. Oh, if I only would have said this, then she wouldn't have left. Oh, if I only lost the weight, then he wouldn't have left. Oh, if I only did this, she wouldn't have cheated. You can't change and you can't control the other person's behavior. So bargaining alternative scenarios is not going to change anything. So try to go through the step, understand what you're bargaining through, and also understand that you don't have control over all of that. So go back and listen to my podcast that I recorded that says you can only control what you can control. Number 8, sadness. It's inevitable. It's comparable to the symptoms of depression. The sadness stage reflects the profound pain and disruption caused by the end of this relationship. This can include social withdrawal and changes in your appetite or sleep patterns. I recommend that you go back and you listen to the podcast that I recorded on what to do during the first week of a breakup. Make sure you're sleeping. Make sure you're eating. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. All of those things are important. While you're going through the sadness, it's important for you to feel the feelings of sadness and then try to release them. The longer you hang on to them, the harder it is going to be for you to move on and move forward. Number 9, social media adjustment. You need to do whatever you need to do for your own health and your own journey. If that means deleting pictures, muting connections, blocking, unfollowing, reaching out to them and say, I need you to block me. I've had people say that to me. I need you to block me, because they didn't have the ability to restrain themselves to go onto my page and to see me happy and to see what I was up to. And they wanted to move forward, so I honored that. And the person that broke up with you or you broke up with should honor that as well. Number 10, relapse. Some individuals may experience a relapse where they reconcile with their ex-partner temporarily. It can either lead to a more stable long-term relationship or serve as a brief respite for facing the negative dynamics all over again. I know I've done this numerous times. I won't go into more detail than that, only that I have broken up, gone back, broken up, gone back. And ultimately, it just led to a permanent breakup, which should have ended years ago. Number 12, comparison dating phase. Progress is made as the individuals begin seeking love again, but they struggle with comparing new potential partners to their ex. We just talked about this in another podcast episode. This phase may last for varying durations, but it hinders the ability to fully let go. Whether you're comparing things that are good or bad. My ex used to do this for me, and my new person doesn't do that. My ex treated me like garbage. My new person doesn't. It's really easy to do comparison from one person to the next person, because why wouldn't you compare them? It's something that our mind automatically does. But try to remember that your relationships are vertical. Your relationship with your ex is here, and your new person is over here. They don't crisscross. They're not horizontal. This is a completely new person, a completely new experience, a completely new way of being, emotions, physical, all of those things. So try to remember to keep your relationship vertical and try not to compare, whether it be this person is great compared to this, or this person doesn't do what this person used to do. This ended for a reason, and I want you to remember that. Which leads us to the last one, number 13, moving forward. This is the final stage, which involves a wholehearted acceptance of the breakup. You have healed completely. You are ready to move forward with your life, and you want your ex to move forward with their lives. While challenges may persist, the focus is on embracing the present and looking ahead to a brighter future. Remember, it's okay to break up and still want what's best for the other person. Every breakup doesn't have to lead down a bad road. Every breakup doesn't have to end in hatred and negativity. This can be something that's healthy for both of you and can lead you to whoever your actual real partner should be. So celebrate your achievements. You've made it through this journey and you're ready for the next chapter. If you found this video valuable, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. If you haven't done so already, go to meetcutesociety.com and join our community. And if you're looking for coaching, we offer that as well. Our app should be released in about 4 to 6 months, but until then, we created a community right there on our website. We're a new podcast, so if you like this, please share it on your platform. Please share it with your friends and family. We value you so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.